Good evening. My name is pedian, and I live at the moment at 510 Sheridan Road. And for those of you who don't know the street address by number, I live on the west side of Sheridan Road between Elm Street on the north and Oak Street on the south. And needless to say, I'm here this evening first and foremost to share my condolences with everyone here who's suffering great losses and great stress. I certainly am there with you, and I offer my personal condolences. And before I talk a little bit about the event in my home and my neighborhood, I just want to say a great big thank you to the Winnetka staff. I was involved and observed fantastic teamwork, empathy, support, and collaboration, not just during the event itself, where, as you mentioned, Steve, Public Works became our lifeline, but also after the event with visits from the water specialists, from Steve and others who came to mark and make professional assessment of exactly how the water flowed in our area and what damage it created. I'd also like to say a pre-thank you to FEMA. God willing, we will all get some support from them, and I hope you filled out your form. And finally, I'd like to have a special thanks to Res's Collection, who has been by my home every day this week while I said goodbye to my wedding photographs, the birth of my daughter, and many other treasures, along with all the crafts that we all live with. I've lived in Winnetka for 21 years, and I moved to my current home about 15 years ago because I was aiming to get closer to Lake Michigan, not to Lake Sheridan Road, which I have seen now 2 times. Like many, I had the event of stormwater in my home on September 13, 2008, with about a foot or just over of water throughout the basement area, which was semi-finished at the time, with great losses. Our $2,500 deductible then went up after September 13th to $10,000, and we barely made it into Chubb's world the second time around. Like everyone else, we renewed, refreshed, and moved on, and reinvented our life below ground. In the meantime, since September 13, 2008, while the village has been talking about water management, watershed, and how to deal with great events like the one we just experienced, and I applaud the village for that, let me just cite a few things that have changed in my neighborhood. And these things are not meant as damaging things, these are just facts, and they've happened probably in your neighborhood too. First and foremost, the village has encouraged people to install either overhead sewer systems where they don't exist in older homes, or backflow valves, or both, in order to accommodate keeping water out of the home, both from the sanitary sewer and from the stormwater sewer. Old homes have been replaced by new homes, and in my case, 505 Sheridan Road, which is a beautiful new home and has all of the state-of-the-art water management systems, and 2 new homes on Hoyt, along with other changes, have just simply changed the amount of cement and where water can flow in my area. And for this event, instead of getting 1.5 feet of water, we experienced just under 4 feet of water at the high spot in our basement, and predominantly 3 feet of water, which took everything at the 36-inch mark with it. This event was a sad one for everybody. Unfortunately, there was a lake outside and a swimming pool inside our home, like many of you. We couldn't control the water because it sat for almost 2 hours before it receded finally. And with that, of course, it did severe damage to things that might have been salvaged, like washers, dryers, furnaces, hot water heaters, refrigerators, shredders, printers, and any other types of items that you too might have in your lower level. I'd just like to close with a few suggested action items. I'm by no means an expert, but I think President Tucker asked all of us to please help and collaborate, and my comments are just that. They're just ideas. I hope they will spark a shift in the paradigm, and I hope they will change the conversation by tuning it up, getting the volume louder, and really focusing in on this as the priority on a regular basis. So action item number 1, continue dialogue on stormwater management with ZEST. Don't stop even for 1 week. If there's no study session August 9th, continue on with the momentum and ensure that there is a stormwater management update at every single council meeting, or at the very least on the website on a weekly basis. Action item number 2, how in the world can Steve Saunders do this when he's running a municipality and the public works? Consider hiring for a 2 to 5 year stint a full-time water management specialist. There are great people out there who could become full-time employees of this village We have the funds, we should approve the salary and the benefits for an individual to come in and take on this task and take it on with energy and enthusiasm. Action item number 3, work collaboratively. We have 2 consultants hired right now with the Park District and with the Village. They are working in tandem with each other, but there are 2 consultants. Why not combine Winnetka Park District, Village of Winnetka, New Trier Township that owns Two Childs Field, Cook County Forest Preserve District, and even the Village of Northfield, where the watershed converges over at the Winnetka Road area by the pumping station. It's important that we look for areas to detain or retain water, and one of those is right adjacent to where the pumping station is on Winnetka Road. There's open land there right now, and the open land routinely has feet of water on it as it overflow from that branch of the river. Go to 30,000 feet, not just mentally, but get up in a helicopter or a plane and look down at where the water went right after an event so that we can see where it wants to go and try to combine retention or detention with where it wants to go. And on the softer side, work with neighborhoods, have a community advocate in each stormwater management area where there's a pumping station. Let people get out and talk to each other, talk about cleaning up flotsam and jetsam so that it doesn't block the pumps on a regular basis when these events occur, and get the neighborhoods to work together so that all of us know what all of us know, and not just some of us knowing it. And lastly, watershed is an enormous process. It starts at the Wisconsin border and it goes all the way down through Winnetka, and as Steve showed, out through the locks at Navy Pier. All the municipalities in the north part of the state of Illinois need to work aggressively and collaboratively to ensure that watershed that affects Winnetka and other adjacent communities is managed on a macro level as well as on a micro level, not just in Winnetka and the surrounding communities. Finally, I encourage all of us to work together, stay positive, try to overcome the sadness that we all have for our losses and the devastation and financial difficulties that we will experience as a result. Let's talk about affordable housing, meaning being able to afford the houses we all bought and live in. That would be the best. Thank you very much.